Good morning, gang. Great to be with you this morning. Today we're going to talk about laws. Laws. Yesterday we talked about love. Today we're going to talk about laws. And if I can get my pencil sorted here, we are good to go. Laws. We're going to talk about laws. Good morning, Buzz. Good to see you, man. So I trust yesterday was helpful. Today we're going to jump into talking about what might be behind the letters laws. And I know in Insta, this is probably backwards. And I don't know how to fix that. But for the rest of the channels that we're on, we're going to talk about laws today, and most specifically, we're going to have a look at them. How you, Janet? Good morning, you early riser, you. We're going to talk about laws in the context of them being needs in all of our lives. Doesn't matter what place on the planet you are from, all of us have these four basic needs inside of us that can only really be met in one place. However, we don't know that. So we usually tend to try to get those needs met in every person, in every place, with every possession, sometimes looking to prestige or power, or I'm running out of peas. So let me tell you what they are. I want you to guess with me, though. I want you to work with me, okay? First L, imagine you need to receive this, and it's really good when you give this, all right? It's go with your gut. Go with the first thing that comes to your mind, okay? If you guess love, bang on, bingo. Desperate need to feel loved, to experience love, and to give love to others. And not only that, but also we have a, let me just pop over here and see if I can mute myself, but I might be able to see some notes. Yeah, okay. If I press, okay, it's mute. Boom, I think we're good. How are you, Sammy? How are you, Melissa? How are you, Becky? Good morning to you. All right, so look, love, massive, okay? It doesn't get much bigger. To experience somebody, and I'm not only talking about romantic love, okay? But to experience somebody who sees you, right? Like who gets you, who understands you. Massive. Someone who you, well, here's another way to say this. What if there was a person or a place so safe that the very worst about you could be known? They would love you more, not less, in the telling you. What if there's a place so safe where the very worst about you could be known, and you could be loved more, not less, in the telling of it? How are you, Melissa? Missy. I think there are not a lot of people around like that. There are just not a lot of people around who the very worst about you could be known and you could be loved more, not less, in the telling of it. Introduce me to them. You are one of those people. At least you're called to be one of those people. A person and that provides a place that is so safe, where the best and the worst about another could be known, and they could walk away feeling loved more, not less, in the telling of it, when the lie is, do not share yourself with anybody. Do not tell them what is most vulnerable about you. To love and to be loved is massive. The A, oh, I should have made you guess first. The A is, if you guessed already, A, what do people, how you Sammy, what do people also long for? We long for acceptance. Isn't that part of love? Yes, but it stands on its own stool leg, if you like. And oftentimes in our desire to get that need met, we become acceptance junkies, gang. We become acceptance junkies, trying to milk acceptance from the people that we are around or with. Sometimes it's in how you speak. Sometimes it's in how you dress. Sometimes it's in what you drive. I'm laughing at that because one stage I was doing a study and someone said, well, look, Kevin, we know, like everybody knows, you are what you drive. I love the honesty and authenticity of that. But that's not true. We long to be accepted, though. And so sometimes we say yes when we actually probably should say no. Sometimes we say, I don't mind. When we mind. We have a mind. We have a preference. But because we are wanting to be accepted, we don't communicate that. We don't share that. Acceptance. What about W? What about W? Actually, acceptance is just so big, right? We are conflict avoidant because we want acceptance so much. And it didn't come from anywhere strange. Right back in the garden. Adam and Eve got dressed like in a hurry. Who were they getting dressed for? Who else was there? Most of you, or a lot of you, or some of you are thinking, well, God was there. Wasn't God there? Yeah, he was there because he's everywhere, but he wasn't, like in the story, he wasn't mentioned as being present in that moment right there. So the only people that were getting dressed for were each other. Why were they getting dressed for each other? They were getting dressed for each other, I'm going to suggest to you, because they ate of the fruit because they wanted to become like God, even though they already were like God and made in his image. And that didn't work out for them. And so they were naked, obviously, and they felt vulnerable and ashamed. Yes, the story says that. But who were they getting dressed for? They were getting dressed for each other. Because they wanted to look acceptable to each other, I'm going to suggest to you. And from that day to this, we've been shuffling fig leaves around our bodies, trying to look acceptable to the other people in our stories. But when you realize, gang, when you realize that you're already accepted, you don't have to shuffle anymore. At least not for acceptance. Because you can live from a place of acceptance. Okay, I let the cat out of the bag just a little. But let me ask you this question. What do you think W stands for? Give us a guess. W. Go on, write it in. No such thing as a dumb answer. You'll help our interaction and you'll help Facebook share this with others. All right. So what do you think? What do you think W stands for? Some of you are thinking, winner, winner, chicken dinner. W stands for worth. Your worth. Your value. It's not just tell me I'm okay. It's tell me I'm worth sacrificing for. Tell me I'm worth investing in. Tell me I'm just worth listening to. Tell me my perspective has value with you. A lot of people feel worth less. Worth less than, fill in the blank. The other person's job, their preference, their opinions, everybody else before you or me, or so worth less. We long to feel worth. And S stands for what? Have a guess. What do you think S might stand for? What might S stand for? So sometimes the lads are thinking, please let it be sex. And very quickly I share with them, that's already taken care of right here as part of love. Just part of love. S is usually stereotyped for the ladies, but it actually is hugely needed for the lads and the ladies. S is security. Security. S stands for security. And and it's not just financial security, yeah? It's more than that. Well done. Stephen, 10 out of 10. Security. We want to feel emotionally secure. We want to feel relationally secure. We want to feel financially secure. We want to feel all different levels and types of security. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a weak thing. It's not even a feminine thing. It's a human being thing, need, that we've been created to feel, to experience, and frankly, to provide a sense of security and safety for other people. And it's massive in our stories. But here's what happens. When we don't know that some of these things are already true, or all of these things are already true, most of us live life trying to make love, acceptance, worth, and security out of every person, place, again, possession, piece of power or prestige, even our perspectives. Sometimes we're milking because we have to be right? So here's the question. If you don't know that these are already met, you got it, Steve. I am so with you on this, right? So look, if you don't know that they are already met, that those needs are already met, here's what's going to happen, gang. Here is what is going to happen. I'm just going to put, let me put God at the top. You are right here. And this is a triangle. I think it'll work both ways on Instagram, maybe. How you, Rob? Good to see you, bro, this morning. All right, so God at the top, you are on one side, and your significant other, or whatever you are involved in, is on the other side. Now, we have these, like we talked about just a second ago, 4 basic needs for love, acceptance, worth, and security. If we do not know that the one who made us is the only one who can ultimately meet those needs, primarily meet our needs for love, acceptance, worth, and security, then we will not look to him primarily for those needs to be met. So functionally, we'd be functional atheists, kind of, sort of. He's still in your life, but you don't know or believe, right? Behavior is rooted in belief. Belief drives behavior. So if we don't know that he's the only one who can primarily meet our needs for love, acceptance, worth, and security, then we are supposed to, I mean, the ideal is that we would share those needs, be a facilitator, be a conduit. In England, they say, I can't do it, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. But it's really a conduit. We are supposed to be a channel through which his love, his acceptance, his worth, his security flows through us to touch the lives of everyone that we come in contact with, whatever the conversation looks like. So, you see, you can't do that. If you're not looking primarily to him to experience the fact of your love, your acceptance, your worth, your security, then you can't share that with, you can't give what you don't have. Write that down. You can't give what you don't have. So what happens, gang, look, what happens is that we try to get love, acceptance, worth, and security in every relationship that we have. And it's not always conscious, like I'm intentionally looking for love. All these songs rush into my head now. Well, I grew up in Ireland. Country music is massive in Ireland, at least some places, some people. My parents love country music, and so I grew up listening to country music. And I just remember one of the, I don't even know who, but you know, we look for love in all the wrong places. But it didn't feel wrong in the moment, right? Because if it felt wrong, we wouldn't do it, for the most part. It feels right, it feels natural. It feels like you're supposed to, like, especially in the context of marriage relationships or romantic relationships. You know, isn't that person supposed to give me love, acceptance, worth, security? Like, tell me that's wrong? I'm just telling you that most people look primarily to the other person in their life to provide those needs for them instead of primarily to the one who made them and created them. And anytime you look to another for something that they've not been created or designed to give to you, it will break down. But most people don't. Well, we're never told. In fact, when you get married, what do they say to you? Oh, your kids are going to be gorgeous. Can't wait for you. Look, you lovely couple. Lovely, gorgeous. Power couple you two are going to be. They don't say, hey, so happy for you, so pumped for you. Can I just shoot straight with you? As much as you love them and they love you, they do not have what it takes in and of themselves to meet your needs. And you, as much as you love them and are committed and devoted to them, you do not have what it takes to meet their needs. What? You're supposed to be encouraging me. I am. This is an encouragement. Because if you get this, woo, you will let everybody in your life off the hook for your happiness, contentment, fulfillment. And actually, you can become a conduit through which you can share from your overflow, fulfillment, fullness, contentment with others. But let me just show you how this goes, right? Because this goes on, right? So when you try to get, it doesn't work. Because you've not been designed, right, for that to work. So you become like two. Okay, now look, I want you to guess what did they look like? Okay, what did they look like? What do they look like? That's my question for you. Okay? What are these two things right here? I want you to guess. Write it in. What did those two little things look like right there? They're little insects. Hey, St. Pete, good morning to you. Yes, they're bugs. They are bugs, Rob.
Just a sec. Sorry.
Oh.
I couldn't find the word to use it.
Hey, I wasn't talking to you, Siri, but thank you for that. They are bugs, but what type of bugs are they? So they're not spiders. They have pinchers at the top. The very top, they have two pinchers, okay, or pinchers. One. Ticks! Boom! Patricia, you got it. Rob, you were really close. And I'm sure the rest of you knew. You knew, right? They are ticks. And what do ticks do? And I wish we could have audio. What do ticks do? Rob, you thought that was their hair? Yeah. I know my artistic ability has a lot to be desired. It's not their hair, it's their legs. Sorry. So there you go. Ticks suck blood. That's right, Missy. Ticks suck blood, right? And do they suck blood from each other, or do they suck blood from something else? Yes, Steve. They suck blood from something else, a host, right? A host. And so when we function from this paradigm, right? We don't know how to share because we don't realize that he's the meter of our primary needs. So we just look to get our needs met from our job or from our spouse or from our girlfriend or boyfriend or fiance or whatever. And so we look to get it. Now, again, this isn't all conscious, right? Sometimes it's really conscious, right? But it doesn't work, right? Because when we function from this paradigm, we're like two ticks with no dog, two ticks with no host, two ticks with no one else to suck love or life from. And so they will let you down because they can't give you what they don't have. And you get a hold of this and you can set your significant other free from your fulfillment, your fullness, because they've never been designed to give that to you. As much as they may love you, committed to you, devoted to you, they may say yes to everything you ask for, which is not the best, let me tell you, but they will not be able to fill your tank. And so what happens? So in life, let's just say the question mark is the lads. What do men tend to look to try to make life work for them? All sorts of different things. So their work or sports or TV or, just a lot of different things. Substances. We could say in the porn, we could say other women. Right? This is not cool or kosher, but what do men look to try to make life work, right? When we could go on, right? What do women look to try to make life work for them? Any guesses? Any guesses? Well, kids, yeah. Finances, I think that was, I'm a little delayed, Missy, I'm going to guess the finances was the last. But sometimes the girls are into the money too. What else do the ladies tend to look to? So family, friends, fitness, Facebook. Because there's something relational there, right? Attention, okay. Security, good luck, yeah. And truth is, we could keep going, and some of these would fit over on the lad side, and some of the lads would fit over on the girl side, right? Power, yeah, man. I like that, Pete. Power, on both sides, right? So here's the deal, right? Is there anything wrong with anything on this list in and of itself? In and of itself, is there anything wrong with this list that men and women kind of look to just to try to make life work for them when it's not really working out at home? Except for the porn. Anything wrong with anything on this list outside of the porn? And obviously in excess substances. Some of you are thinking, well, dude, women, On the man's side, women, surely, right? Well, is it wrong for a male to have a female friend? No, but it is wrong for a male to look too much to that female friend to give to them more than that friend is supposed to give to them, right? In friendship, right? That's not cool. But in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with having a female friend or for a female to have a male friend. You just have to be careful and you have boundaries and all the rest, right? But so here's what happens. The enemy looks to help you look way too much to any one of these things for more than they've been designed to give to you. And frankly, when you get tired of one and or bored of one or whatever, then he just substitutes that with something else and on and on and on and on the list goes. All the while, your maker and your creator is calling you back to him and saying, hey, I have what you need. I love you with an everlasting love, he says. I'm not looking to pound you for any chance I can get. Jesus already took that. I'm looking for ways to have my love land on the runway of your life. I'm looking to tell you, oh man, my shoulder is sore. He's not looking to say that, but he's looking to say, kid, nothing you ever will do will cause me to love you any less or love you any more. Nothing you will ever do will cause me to reject you, to leave you, or forsake you. I'm not going anywhere. Worth? Kid, listen. Your value is determined by what another person's willing to pay for you. I paid my only son for you. I gave my only son sacrificially so that you would not have to pay your sin debt. That's how much worth you are. And Jesus is priceless, last time I checked. That is your value and your worth. And when he talks about security, when he talks, like I have big hands, right? I mean, my father is from Monaghan, 2 miles from the northern border in Ireland. And I think I inherited my hands from him. They're as long as Lurgan spades, is what we say over there, that dig turf for the fire. But anyway. Jesus says, hey, when you place your faith in the one whom is a rock that is higher than I, you place your faith into him. It's like God closes his hand and says, hey kid, I have you in the palm of my hand. You're safe here. Then Jesus says, and look, I then am placed around his hand. Then he says the Holy Spirit is wrapped around all 3 of us. And no one can pluck you from my Father's hand. No one. I got goosebumps, right? Gang. You talk about security. He doesn't get much more secure than that. We have 4 kiddos, and one of our kiddos yesterday had a rough time at work, and he called on the way home. Oh, I just said we have 3 boys, so. And I was able just to remind him, hey kid, your boss, you don't have to be afraid of him firing you. You ultimately don't work for him. You work for his boss, who ultimately has given you this job, who can open doors that no man can close and close doors that no man can open. He's got you, kid. He's reminding you in this circumstance, in this situation, that you can rest in him, that you're going nowhere unless he okays it. you are loved, you are accepted, you are worthy, and you are secure. And when you marinate in those truths, gang, you come out, you can't help it. Like when a piece of fish, a piece of chicken, a piece of steak, it's in the plural, but a piece of steak marinates in some juicy, gorgeous marinade, you can't help it. It don't matter how hot that fire is. You can't help it. When it comes out, you bite into that, you brush off of that. Marinade is going to touch you. And so for us, it's important that we find ways to marinate in His love and His acceptance and His worth and His security in us. So that when we come out of whatever fire we're in, whatever challenge or trial or time of testing that we find ourselves in, whatever unhealthy people that are around us that are spewing out on us, we're trying to find the balance between self-respect, integrity, and authority. That even in our responses, gang, we can be detached because your identity is not based in another person's opinion of you. Your identity is not based on your performance. Your identity is not based in your behavior. Your identity is based. Now you tell me. You tell me. How many sins does a person have to commit to be a sinner? Type it in. How many sins does a person have to commit to be a sinner? What have they told us? What have you been taught? Usually, one. Howie Renee. Good morning. Usually one. One sin makes me a sinner. Well, how many moos, use the same logic, how many moos does a cow have to moo to be a cow? How many? Same logic. You'd have to say one. Yes, Pete, you'd have to say one. And yet, you know that for a cow to be a cow can bark like a dog, and it's still a cow. Why? I mean, how? Well, it's still a cow, but it has a few issues, clearly, especially in the voice box. I don't know what happened there, but it's still a cow. Why is it a cow? What makes a cow a cow? Well, it looks like a cow. It produces milk. You know, usually they're black and white. And we're talking about characteristics and descriptions and behavior. It moves. Well, it don't have to move. It's still a cow. Its DNA determines its identity. Its birth. It was born a cow. We don't judge and discern that a cow's a cow because it behaves like a cow. We judge and discern that a cow's a cow because it was born as a cow. And you and I were born as sinners. And that's why we sin. My point here is that behavior does not define you, friend. Birth defines you. And that's why Jesus said, hey, look, Nicky, when he talked to Nicodemus, Nicky, look, bottom line, you have to be born again, man. And Nicky said, serious, Jesus. Like, do I have to go back into my mother's womb? Like, surely you can't be talking about that. Jesus said, no, it's a spiritual birth. You transition your faith from whoever and whatever it's in right now to make life work for you into the one whom is life in all of its fullness. When you transfer your dependence on whatever you're looking to try to make life work for you to the one who is life, Jesus, who gave his life for you so that you could live an abundant life, now you become what Jesus described as born again, spiritually born again. It's a spiritual truth. It's a supernatural truth. It's an amazing truth. But from that moment on, you enter a relationship with Jesus. He becomes your big brother. He becomes your savior. And for those of us who are firstborns, who are big brothers, it's pretty cool to have a big brother. I used to threaten people when I was growing up with my big brother if they were messing with me. Thankfully, they didn't quite put me to the test most of the time. Hey, look. I could go on and on and on, and I probably shouldn't. So let me just stop with this. Your behavior doesn't define you, your birth does. And you don't always behave in accordance with who you truly are. Nobody else has the right to define your identity. So stop giving them the power to define who you are. Accept your maker. So take it back, gang. Take it back. And walk in the truths of your belovedness, your acceptance, your worth, and your security. And you will be like that delicious steak, piece of chicken, piece of fish, choose whatever type of meat you like, marinating in some delicious marinade that, man, if I wasn't talking so much, my mouth would be watering right now, I reckon. And no matter what, they have good, bad, or indifferent. You can't help splash some love, some acceptance, some worth, some security on it. There's an overflow of what you've been receiving. And I will share this last little illustration just before we go. And that's this. Last Thanksgiving, when we moved to the Americas, I thought, like, yes, I get 2 Christmases. And really, I was talking about the food, because the food here is, look, amazing. And they have all sorts of trimmings, like extras and stuff that, we had the basics in Ireland, right? So anyway, so last Thanksgiving, we share around the table, like, what you're thankful for, what are you grateful for? And so it was the morning of, I was thinking about what I would share, and I'm like, Lord, I don't have it. And there's a lot of things, I just don't have that one thing that's clear that this is what I'm going to share. So I started thinking, well, I got an email or I got a card or something, and it was a mother holding a baby, yeah? And you've seen it before, like a mom or a dad, like holding the baby, and the parent is looking into the child's eyes, and they're just like full of love, right? And so I thought to myself, oh, that child has no idea how much that parent loves that child. And I thought to myself, I want to love like that. I want to love like that. I want to love people in my life that even when they have no idea or they don't believe that I love them as much as I do, that it doesn't stop or hinder my love flowing from me to them one iota, not a bit. I want to love like that. And I thought, okay, I like that thought. I like that. The picture was phenomenal. I'm thinking now, how can I share this with the fam? And then a thought entered my head. Did it ever occur to you that every thought that occurs to you is not your thought? Did it ever occur to you that every thought that occurs to you might not be your thought? Most of the time, we think every thought that occurs to us is my thought. It ain't your thought until you buy it, till you start meditating on it, ruminating in it. Some thoughts need to be just let go on by. Go on with your bad self, as my counselor says to me occasionally. Go on, let the thing go on. Right? The thought that came right after, the nice thought that I just shared with you was, you will never love like that. I thought, come on, that's not nice at all, actually. And I knew, at least I thought, God didn't send that, I mean, he's love, so he wants me to love like that thought one, came. Not, I'll never love like that. And then I was like, I was discouraged. The air went out of my balloon, so it did. And so, I was kind of stalled. And then I was stalling because I said to my family, I said, you know what, we normally share what we're thankful for at the beginning before we eat, but let's just wait till the end and let's enjoy the meal and we can share it. So we did that. And in the middle of the dinner, it came to me. It just hit me. And it was like, I got it. And so everybody shared, and I can't wait till the end. And I shared, hey, you know the way a mother loves a child, and does the child have any idea how much that the mother loves that child? And they said, no, not really, no. And I said, I want to love like that. I want to love you like that. I want to love the people that are in my life like that. And And then I said, but I will never love like that. I will never love like that. And they said, come on, Dad, now, come on. Don't be leaving us there. You're not leaving us there, are you? No, I'm not leaving you there. I will never love like that unless I become like this turkey that we're all eating right now. And I said, now you have all called me a turkey a time or two. I'm not talking about that type of turkey. I'm talking about this type of turkey. I says to Debbie, this is the most beautiful turkey. I think the most delicious turkey I've ever eaten in my entire life. I says to her, what did you do to this bird? She says, well, you carried it in for me from the garage or the garage last night. She didn't say, anyway, the garage. And so she said, I put it in the brine. You put it in the brine. Yeah, I put it in the brine. And how long was it in the brine? Well, it was overnight. Okay, so a long time. Yeah, overnight. And then we took it from the brine, took it out of the brine, and then we put it on the pan. We popped it in the oven 450 degrees. Exactly. Yeah, that's what we did. Mm-hmm. And then 3-4 hours later, we took it out and we put it on this platter and put into it. And when we cut into it, juices like oozed out of it. Can you smell it? Can you smell it right now? I can even see the thing. I can see the steam going on. I will not be able to love like a mother or a father loves their newborn child unless I become like this turkey. I have to be willing to die, to love sacrificially, not to be a doormat. I have to be willing to die, to be willing to release my reputation, to surrender. Sometimes even my desires, but I have to be willing to die. And live from my place of love, belovedness, acceptance, worth, and security. And I need to marinate. I need to marinate in the truths of my Father's love, my Father's acceptance, my Father's worth, and my Father's security. And some of you have had fathers that haven't been the best fathers in the world. There is no perfect father. There is no perfect mother. We need to marinate. We need to be careful that we don't project onto God what our relationship was with like our earthly parents. And can I just tell you really succinctly that our concept of God most oftentimes comes from our experience of relationship with our earthly fathers, usually. And that gets projected onto God. Not consciously, and usually it plays out that way. So, your Heavenly Father is the perfect Father. Attuned, attentive, involved if we let Him, empowering if we let Him. Unless I marinate in the truths of who He is, and let those truths soak into my being, because we behave based upon what we believe, my friend. And when we marinate in those truths, in all sorts of ways, with books, with music, with people, finding ways to soak in that goodness. Experientially knowing the truth, Romans 8:32 says, and it will set you free. Experientially. It doesn't matter what hot fire you end up in, what oven, situation, or circumstance. For significant periods of time, when you come out and anyone brushes off of you, it'll be kind of like a waft of good aftershave or good perfume. It's like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good. My schnoz is a little long, so I'm a smeller. And man, a good aftershave or good perfume. It's the business sometimes. You will smell good. When you live from the truth of your belovedness, your acceptance, your worth, and your security. So can I leave you with that today? Then you'll check in with 7 that went a little bit longer this morning. I trust you've received value from our time together. And I trust as you leave, you will be reminded not to look to another person or place or possession or power or prestige for your identity, but from the one who's fashioned and shaped you. You are not a mistake. Even if you weren't planned, you are not a mistake. You're right where you're supposed to be. You are loved infinitely more than you know. And you are not alone. And can I just say this to you? You do not even have to believe what I am saying to you right now for it to be true. And I also want to just say to you, you don't have to believe that to belong here with me or in our community. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. Trust that some or one of these thoughts have landed on the runway of your heart and mind and soul. And that as you take the good self that you are into the rest of this day, that you'll be better for it, that somehow you'll hear the birds sing and know and be reminded, hey, he's going to take care of me. And if you do not have a relationship with Jesus, can I just encourage you? There's no better relationship on the planet. And if ever there was a time where we needed a big brother, it is now. And he wants to help you live in abundance now. And in fullness now. Not after the pandemic is gone. Right now. All you have to do is nothing. But receive what he's already done for you. And paying a price for a gift that we could never afford to pay. Is just receive it. Just receive it. Transfer your dependence from whatever it's in right now to where it needs to be. Build your house on a rock. And when the storms come and the winds blow, it will stand. And remember, your identity is not based on your performance or upon other people's perspectives of who you are. Your identity comes from your Maker and from your birth. So may his blessings be upon you today. May you feel his favor. May you know his peace. And may there be an extra bounce in your step today. God love you. God bless you. If I can be of help to you, message me. Pop a note in this. Man, if this made sense to you, share it. I dare you to share it. Because you and I know, man, there are a lot of people out there that need to experience these truths. So that's my challenge for you today. Share it. Please like it. Comment. And I'll see you maybe in the morning. This is supposed to go till the end of the month. I think it's only 30 days. It's been wonderful. If myself or my team can serve you, we're here. That's what we're here for. Just reach out. We would be thrilled. I'm going to pop something in the comments here. Actually, I'm seeing a boatload of comments that I didn't see earlier. Here's our phone number, 800-910-5060. 800-910-5060, or our email is info@brokenchainsintl.com, or you can text us at 678-608-2111, And we would be delighted to come alongside you. And hey, Will, thanks for jumping in, man. And Sarah and Melissa and a bunch of others. Have a wonderful Thursday, and I will potentially see you in the morning, or we'll let you know how we're going to try to figure out a way to continue these lives. So share some love on Insta and like and share this with your friends. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.